Hi everyone, it's Lola and I am back with another fun craft. Today I'm going to show you how to use some iron-on transfers to make some really fun and cute t-shirts. And funny too. So yeah, this is what we do. Let's get started. So what you do is you'll want to go to jolieseasyimage.com, and I just like this site because that's the transfers that I'm used to using. It's the ones I've always purchased. There are other brands and they will give you the instructions, and I'm sure that they have either a website or an app available to help you create those. But just because this is what I know how to use, you go to this website and you just click right here. Click here to get started. It asks you to log in, and it's not a big deal to sign up. There's no way to do it without signing up, but I've never received an email from them. I've never had any spam or anything from them, so it's not like you'll have any trouble. So what happens is you log in and this little window pops up. So let's just make this big so that we're not seeing anything else. And you have these options: image, text, shape, line, shared designs, my saved designs, etc. We're in a new now. We don't have to start. We just have a blank canvas, as it were. And it shows you, here's the size of the sheet. It's, I think, 8.5 by 11 inch, like the standard letter size. And it shows what it'll look like on your shirt if you have it that way. If you click this, it'll turn it to landscape, because for certain images you're going to use, that's going to be better. But let's leave it here for now. And let's open an image. So you can look through, they have tons of different images you could use to put together something, but I'm actually going to upload an image, and here we are. You'll see I have a lot of pizza pictures in here, don't you? But let's upload this one. Choose it, hit the button, and there you'll see, here's my little me as a Powerpuff Girl, as it were. And so then you have the options to change some of the image properties. Right now it's just as it was. It's a color picture. You can change it to sepia, you can change it to grayscale, shadow, glow, change the opacity. I'm choosing right now maintain proportions. Click on that because I want to make this bigger. So whatever this 8.5 by 11 spot is the only thing that will print, because anything outside it is not going to show up, obviously, because there's no paper there for it to print on. But I want this to be a little bigger, so I'm going to kind of keep it. Let's see if I can grab this. Oh, come on. There we go. So I chose maintain proportions so that it won't skew at all, but I'm kind of just keeping an eye on where those lines would be, and I think that's going to be it. Now, you can also add text. I've only ever found one font with it, but let's just add something fun. So put the text in. You'll see it here. I'm going to grab it and pull it up, and it would just go right there. So technically, I have finished an image. I could print that right now so that it's ready to iron on. So when you're done with your image, when you've chosen what you want, you can choose pictures, you can upload images you find on the internet. I do want to say, if you find a t-shirt that you like on the internet and then download the picture, like the image of it, and then make a t-shirt of it, you're sort of stealing that image. So don't be selling that stuff. Don't be making money off other people. Be aware of that type of thing. But as it is, so here we are. I'm going to choose to print. You can choose to save and it'll keep them for you, but it gives you these options. Plain paper for a proof. Now if you have if you don't worry about your ink budget, because I'm really stingy when it comes to my printer ink, but if you're not worried about your ink budget, go ahead and print a proof. What I would do is, before you print, make a little dot in like the lower left hand corner of the paper. Then when it prints, you can see what side is going to print on and which is going to be top or bottom, so that when you put the paper in, it will print on, or you put the transfer in, it will print on the right side. Because I can never remember which side the printer is, if it's the face down sheet side of the sheet that gets printed on, or the face up. So that's just a little test. I hope that made sense. Since this would be going on a white t-shirt, I would choose iron on light fabric transfer. If you're choosing something that has a dark color, like it's a dark background, a lot of, or you're putting it on a dark T-shirt, you're going to want to choose the dark fabric transfers. Really, for light, it's white, off-white, really light gray, maybe some pale beiges or something. But I don't use the white for really the light fabrics for much. I use a lot of the dark fabric transfers. But so what you'll do, choose what you have, click print. And now this may be different on your computer. This is what I love about the Jolie's Easy Image app. It flips it for you. Because this is on white, and the way that it works when we're ironing it on, it has flipped the image for me. Yay! That saves so much headache trying to figure out if it's supposed to be flipped, if it's not, how to do it. It does it for you. So then you're going to choose your printer, and you'll want to choose your actual, whatever yours is. Color, paper size letter, fit to page, and then you're going to hit print. Now I'm not doing that yet because my printer is not set up with the paper, but you set it up for yours, put your paper into the tray, hit print. Once that's done, you're going to head to your iron, and we're going to pick up from there. Hello, it is time now to iron on the transfer. So once you have it printed, this is the dark, so you'll see the line is the side that you don't print on, and you make it so that you print on the other side. If you read the instructions included inside, with the dark transfers, it wants you to peel off the backing. And that's when it gets a little dicey, because it's really quite, it's kind of a thinnish kind of piece, so you want to just be careful, because you don't want to pull too hard, because you really don't want to rip it or to crease it. So what I do is I just keep evenly pressing or pulling, pardon me, and as I get to the end, I just make sure that none of it's going to rip. So then what I do, it wants you to use a piece of parchment, but I just use the paper that I took it off of. But you do not want to use wax paper, because wax paper will gum up both your design and your iron. Parchment paper doesn't have that wax coating, so it works really well for this type of thing. So take your T-shirt, and the best type to use is always 100% cotton, pre-washed, pre-shrunk. If it doesn't say pre-shrunk, it's always a good idea to wash it first in hot water and then hot dry, because that's what's really going to help you get the full shrink out. Then, with your iron on highest setting but no steam, you'll want to iron your shirt just to kind of make sure that there's no dampness and it's nice and flat. And then I want to watch, because I want this to be, and you also want to do this on a pretty hard surface. I have a blanket, like a sheet down just to on this hard wood that we use in my house as an ironing board. We've been doing it since I was a little kid. We don't have a specific iron board. But you'll want to use like an actual ironing board because they're nice and firm too. But you want it to be a nice hard surface. Kind of look at the neckline and center up. You could do this with measuring, but of course, this is me we're talking about. So I want to think if the neck's here, I kind of want it to be around here. And I'm not so worried. Now you'll see the T-shirt I chose, I could have probably gone with the darker gray that we have at work, that I chose this one. I really like this color, so then I'm just going to take this, put it over top of that part. Now, you don't want to go from the outside in, because that may lift the edges of it up. You kind of want to go from the middle, put it on, put your iron down, hold it, and in very deliberate, non-light movie around motions. I always kind of just go like this, just over, very slowly, lift up a bit, move over. And then I'm going to pull this down and do the other side. If you use parchment, of course, it'd be large enough you could just put it on the whole thing. So start in the middle and work out. And you always want to do that to make sure that the edges don't curl up. It's so easy to do, and then you feel like you've ruined it. down. Very slowly move. So then once I've done from the middle out, and it's nice, I do like to hold it just over the edges, not rubbing back and forth, but just holding it like that. Pushing outward again, so it's smoothing the edges down. Then move this up. Just I want to do one more here, kind of from the middle out to that corner, and the same here. Because you just want to make sure it's nicely adhered. So then, once that's done, you want to let it cool down. So of course this is with the dark. I'll be making the white t-shirt in just a moment. Let that cool before you pick it up. I like to do a little check just to make sure the edges are all good. Now I hadn't paid attention, and mine printed with a white edge, and that's just a function of your printer settings. You can have it print so that it's not doing a white edge. My printer did these little lines, but once it printed, I didn't care. Because these are t-shirts that I usually wear to work and stuff, and they get pretty ruined anyway. But that's one of the reasons why a test proof is also a good idea. If you're making a really special t-shirt, or you want to really test it before you make a bunch of t-shirts, maybe for a team or something like that. Very nice. But yeah, I didn't actually mind it so much, because once it's on and you're wearing it, who really cares about that? With these ones, it's also pretty easy. You could actually cut very much closer, so you just have the seal part of it. But here, so it's cooled down enough so we can lift it up, and there you go. So you see it's actually very well attached there. Let it cool completely, and then you can wear it. When you wash them, once they've been done, you want to wash inside out on warm water, not hot, and a tumble dry low. You don't really want to use heat settings for these, and you don't want to use really cold water either, because just in my opinion, it could crack it a little bit. So let's show you what it's like with the white, because it is slightly different. Hi, it's time now to iron on the transfer to the shirt. As you can see, when it's onto light transfer, that's why the Jolie's app, that easy image little pop-up window, is so great, because when you choose light image transfer, it automatically mirrors it for you. Because unlike the dark image transfers, you leave this on the paper and put it down and iron it on. So let's get our shirt ready. This is just a plain white t-shirt that I got at Michael's. You could use, cotton is the best shirts, flat weave, not a ribbed knit, because I find that what happens with the ribbed knit is as soon as you start to stretch the ribs out on it, it will crack the image. So it doesn't work. So what I want to do is try to make sure that, so that when I line it up, it lines up with kind of the neckline where I want. My iron is on its highest heat, no steam setting. As you can see, it's making some nice little wrinkles. And you want to use your firmest ironing board. So then we have that. What I'm going to do, I think, I want it a little further down from my neckline. So I think I'm going to just put it here. And I'm just eyeing it again. If you really want, you could be a stickler and you could look it up. Or, measure it up, look up, perhaps take a ruler, take some type of line marker to make that match up. So here we go. And then what you do is just with this, because it has the backing on, you could put a piece of parchment paper down, but I'm just going to go straight over, right from the middle, out. And it's going to start to adhese. See, it's going to start to stick right on. And keep going from the middle out. That's what I find is the most important. That way you don't have any little bubbles in it. And that way the edges, because this one, we're going to be peeling off the paper after it cools, as opposed to the dark image transfer where we had peeled it off the paper before we transferred it on. So you really want to make sure that the edges of it are down well. So again, from the middle, and I'm not doing great big round things because I don't want to rip up the edges at all. I don't want to pull them up. I'm only kind of doing that in the middle, and then I'm pushing out again. From the middle out continually. And I always worry a little bit about these. So I always do it a little bit more. So then it's tough to tell because you're going to feel the paper coming up, and that's natural. But you just want to make sure that you've really been kind of meticulous about getting the edges of the transfer actually down. All right, so we have that one done. Now we have to let it cool I would let it cool a bit before you pull it off. And then we'll show you the big reveal. All right, now the shirt has cooled enough, and what I did was I started to pull up the edge because I didn't want to start swearing on camera if it didn't work. It really is the most frustrating part, is trying to get that little corner edge up because you want to get it without pulling up any of the transfer, right? But then all you do after that, and it's still kind of warm, but you'll be okay. It doesn't have to be completely cool. What you want to do is make sure that you kind of pull gently but firmly, if that makes sense, in an even kind of pressure. Because if you pull too quickly and you're not careful to get it even across, you might rip it off, and then it becomes hard because you might get a little piece of paper left in the middle. If that happens, don't worry. It's just going to take you a little longer to pick the paper off. But as you can see, if you do it kind of nice and even, and I'm fine that just holding down here, it just gives it that extra little bit of leverage. And there we go. So then what I'm going to do, just to be extra safe, now that it's like this, I'm going to take this paper that I just took off, and I'm going to kind of go over that corner where I wasn't so happy where I pulled it up. And now that's going to warm it up and stick it a little bit again. And there we go. All done. And that is how you make an iron-on transfer. Well, we were waiting for that to cool. I did make a different one. So let's reveal it as well. See, this one I didn't pull the corner up on first. As you can see, it's a little bit rough, but... So see, it's a fun way to make some shirts that are maybe a little bit topical, like just right for that moment, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on. And there you go. I love this one. Vader. Together we can rule the galaxy. 2016. I don't know. That'd be a pretty scary card. And that, my friends, is the easiest way to make a t-shirt. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember when you're washing them to wash them inside out on warm water and only a warm dry. You don't want to use super cold because you don't want to crack the transfer, and you don't want to use really hot because you don't want to peel the transfer or shrink the shirts more. It's always important to read the instructions on whatever transfers you buy. Even if you buy the Jolie's Easy Image transfers, I suggest reading the instructions anyway. And if you do make any of these, make sure to tag me on Instagram. I'm Lacey Lola. I would love to see what you've been inspired to make. I hope you're able to be creative today. And remember, Lola, love often, laugh always.